Hey there, my name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is worst time traveler. I always notice when someone exits and crosses out of the flesh costume and into the true, or travels from the true. Is Earth School true? Is it a real realm? Is it reality? Even the CIA points it to it being holographic. So yeah, is holography real? Yes, a hologram is real. But spirit, the animus, the animating force of the hologram, the light that moves through the 2D surface, is the true. That's the true reality. And it is when someone crosses over or exits, like my cat Ashtar just did, like my brother just did, like my cousin did this past year, like my dear friend Michelle did this past year, that I recognize what a harbinger of connection exit points are. It really kind of brings us together, and we get to come together with the people we love in our lives to grieve the person we lost. And it reminds us the value of relationship and of connection. I am extremely introverted, and I am somebody that can spend all of my time filling it with things to study and to write and to read and to all of that. And also, it is the relationships in my life that humble me, that fill my heart with love, with joy, with gratitude. And I always say, it's your relationships you take past the grave. It's not the money. It's not the baubles. It's not the thing called influence. We're all influencers, but it's not that normative statement of being an influencer. It's not how popular you were. None of that actually foundationally matters in the true. In the true, we're in the process of taking up flesh costumes to evolve the self, and we're doing a great job of it. We're knocking it out of the park, you know what I mean? Even when we're being unevolved, it is one of the steps on the path to evolution. So the reason I wanted to do a video on the worst time traveler is because I was recently getting to connect with Wells and Amanda, two dear beloved entities of my tribe, but great soul friends and souls I dearly value and richly love, and medicine people in my realm, those that are medicine to me. And Wells one night was talking when I was in Texas for Braxton's viewing about being the shittiest time traveler. And what she had said is that, when I go back into the past and I have anxiety over who I've been, who someone else has been, or I move into the future and I get into a worrisome state about what might occur that has not occurred, then I am being the shittiest time traveler in all the multiverses. I mean, essentially, you're just being a terrible time traveler, because in mind, even though time is an illusion, you're only ever here now. Ram Dass talks about that. Eckhart Tolle talks about that. The fact is, you can talk to yourself about that, because if you evaluate your life, you have only ever been in the moment of now. Your physical body and the brain and the heart that they hold, and the mind and the energetic zhizhiness of feeling connected to intuition, have only ever been in the present moment of now. From birth until death, it's the only place you'll be. We just have a tendency to time travel in our awareness into past and future. I am somebody that has tremendous anxiety about the past every single night of my life. Now, I don't recall having this my entire life, but since I've stepped onto the shamanic path, which essentially occurred for me about 5 years ago. I mean, you're born on it, but also I was awakened to it around the age of 42. It's been a huge journey of me kind of having a true evaluation of who others have been to me, who I've been to them, the authentic reality of my life, because I've been very conditioned to kind of turn to the positive, turn to the light of love. Love is the answer. And it's caused a lot of non-shadow integration. So I've spent the past 5 years in a deep shadow integration period where I've really had to be more, instead of just always focusing on forgiving those that have wronged me, I've had to be more honest that those people have also hurt me. And it's been painful to be betrayed, to be lied to be talked about, to be misunderstood, to be stolen from, to be whatever these behaviors are that divinity would have me look at that I might evolve, it has been painful and it's hurt my feelings. And I've taken it personally, and I've taken things that aren't personal, So the reality is that my past has a lot of challenging lessons. And if I'm going to time travel from my moment of now into the past or into the future, if I'm going to let my mind continue this penchant for wondering about the cabin and not being present in my now, which is highly recommended because now is the point of power. Now is the place where I actually can take steps, take actions, make decisions. Now is the choice point. The past and the future aren't necessarily choice points because there's not here. And one of the things I kept looking at after Braxton died is like, there were all these choice points of the future. There's choice points of me and how my life is going to shift as a result of this. And my dear friend Amanda kept reminding me, like, Heather, you may make a choice on that now, and you also might find that several things shift by the time you get to the destination you're planning in the future. So why don't you just be here now? Right now, the decision we're making is this. And it's like, yeah, I am doing a lot of future planning. And it is an ineffective way to be a time traveler. I can time travel in the sense that I see in the future I want to run a magical college. I can set intent. But actually, all of the detailed, rather than the broad vision of future planning, all of the details are bound to shift and shake and mutate and moderate and, exchange for other things and keep shifting because change is the order of the day all day, every day in this quote unquote reality. So why don't I just have a broad vision and intention that is the target I'm aiming towards and allow myself in my now to make sure the steps I'm taking lead me on the path to that vision? That is, I would say, a much more effective way to time travel into the future. And as far as time traveling to the past, a handful of you may know this about me, but literally every night of my life, I sometimes rock myself back and forth. I have a dear friend of 3 decades that does that I may have picked the habit up from. But daily, I will say, help, 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 help. And when I say that, whether I'm rocking back and forth or not, help, 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 it happens every night of my life. It has for the past 2 years at least, maybe 3 years, definitely since I stepped on the shamanic path and started digesting all the poison that I've been handed so that I can transmute it into antidote and become the medicine person I intended as an entity to be. It overwhelms my system because I know to love all beings, and it hurts to also know what two-leggeds have chosen to do and be in response to me. It also heals and mends and blends my heart with the essence of the divine quintessence when I consider all the graces, all the like I'm receiving many graces from two-leggeds in these hours. So those moments aren't lost on me. It's just as we take an honest evaluation of our lives, there's always shadow and light. As we get present in the now, there is love and there is fear. There's false evidence appearing real. So there are some two-leggeds that have handed us shadow, darkness, poison, challenge, trial, tribulation, fear, false evidence appearing real. And they didn't have something else to hand us in those hours, or they would have handed it, because we are actually, although we seem foolish, relatively smart creatures. So, the experience is what it is, and it's not going to change. And so as I time travel into the past, it really boils down to the perspective I hold. And I am an entity that holds a very high level of responsibility. I was raised as a metaphysician. I was raised to know and believe that what I think about and feel about, I will bring about. So I feel hyper responsible for every betrayal, every assault, every lie, every hardship I've ever faced in this life as a consequence of another person's choices in response to me. I feel responsibility because to me, it's a hologram reflecting my own consciousness. So why is it that I believe that humanity will treat me that way, will not see me, will not understand me, will not be loving to me? Especially, it's a little convoluted and complex based on how much I desire to be loving to humanity and to the self. So So why is that in my mental crawl? And part of it is just the unconditional loving mother that I was handed placed one of those in me. And as an unconditionally loving universal mother, I weep that the children suffer so much, that they lose who they be. They lose their light of truth. They lose their light of love. They lose their truest frequency of unconditional, neutral love. And they offer this false evidence appearing real, which perpetuates the duality. And it saddens me. It saddens me that we all suffer so. It really saddens me that we all suffer so. And that's okay. We're allowed to be sad, and we're allowed to be mad, and our feelings are valid. And so ever since Wells said, I'm the shittiest time traveler in the world if I'm just flipping from anxiety to worry, and if my mind is going to these dark and negative places, I thought, man, thank you, Wells, that is a really powerful statement. And coming on the backside of Amanda reminding me to be in the present moment, it was like, yeah, I don't have to be a shitty time traveler. One way I can do it is I can get present. I can be present with what's actually going on. What's going on right now? Well, nobody's holding a gun to my face, and I'm not actually having any real problems. I'm out of the rain right now as it's raining. I have, some moringa tea to drink right here. All of my needs are met. My beloved cat Salusa is here with me. I have light to see. I have telephone device to make videos to speak. And I'm well blessed. So as I choose in the day to travel to anxieties of the past or to worries of the future, I'm missing the blessing in my current moment. I'm missing the fact that in my current moment, I don't have an increase of cortisol in my system. I'm not facing a trauma, trial, or tribulation. I'm not having a two-legged hand-knee qualities and characteristics like lack of integrity, lack of honesty, lack of honor that I don't find attractive or beneficial. None of that experience of the past is occurring. And, my tendency to be a bit out of body or in other realms as I walk through my day can sometimes cause me at the end of the day to reflect and be like, oh my God, was I rude? And help. I'm so sorry if I was rude. And as I say help, I'm speaking to my allies. I'm speaking to the 35 spirit guides I work with. I'm speaking to divinity, God and goddess, symbology, trinity, singularity, all that it represents the divine through all the cultures I've ever been as a multidimensional and infinite lifetime vessel taker as an eternal being. I'm speaking to the power animals. I'm speaking to the elemental spirits. I'm speaking to the angelic seraphim. When I say help, I'm speaking to the ancestors. I'm talking to my allies. And the allies are unseen, just like many things are unseen. Love is unseen. It doesn't take a form. It doesn't have a shape. It doesn't fit under a microscope, but we experience it. Forgiveness doesn't fit under a microscope, but we experience it. There are many things in the world, like air, that are unseen, that can be obvious and clear scientific facts, as well to me, the ally team. There are many allies, ancestors, those that have walked before that are present with me. And there are many that are still alive. For me, having lost 65 to 70 people, sometimes I get into a consciousness of like, help, everyone's dead. Am I an angel of death? If I love someone, will I cause them to die? Do I have the hand of death with me wherever I go? Should I avoid humanity? Which is such an egotistical thought, but definitely one you have when you are surrounded by death for a lifetime. And so I have to remember, like, no, Goofy, like, no, you're not the angel of death. Like, you are a vibrant, loving, joyous being. And it's easy to forget yourself with everything you've been seeing. And so let's get present with what we're looking at now. And in this moment of now, I am not looking directly at death. Have I looked at it recently? Yes. Have I looked at it many times this year? Yes. Have I looked at it many times throughout my life? Yes. But in the present moment, I'm not looking at that. So let me not be a shitty time traveler and travel back to something other than the grace, the beneficence, and the benevolence of my sacred hour of now. Mastery of Light is coming up. It's starting in December. Enrollment ends at midnight on November 25th. You can go to rarebirdmedicine.com, click on the classes link, and there are more details there. You can always subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube, like and comment there. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Happy holidays.